Coming up, a battle between two high as Baker Mayfield looks to go 3-0 against Joe Burrow. It's the Browns and the Bengals, and it's coming up next.
Well, I tell you what, we have an absolutely perfect Midwestern afternoon for football. And EA Sports brings you coverage of the NFL from Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. This crowd loves their orange and black. The scene just a short time ago, they were in full roar as their guys burst out of the locker room. We're ready for football as the Bengals get set to do battle with the Cleveland Browns. Hi again, everyone. I'm Brandon Gunn. To my left, Charles Davis. And Charles, you focus on this Bengal team entering play. They come in losers of 2 straight, so they're trying to right the ship here a little bit.
They're teetering a little bit, aren't they? And now things could really go south if they lose this game, so they understand the importance of playing well and stopping this streak.
Meanwhile, for the Browns here, they're hitting their stride of late. Winners of 3 of their last 4.
And if you look back to last week, it was all about their defense. Anytime you hold an NFL team to single digits, that's saying something.
Of the regular season down. What will the final 2 bring us as we're off in week 9? This will be fielded inside the 5. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. The Browns set to go on offense for the first time, led by Baker Mayfield in his 4th season now from Oklahoma.
And while we can quibble a little bit about statistics, to me, Baker Mayfield's coming off his best season yet. 26 touchdown passes, cut way down on his turnovers, and led the Browns to a playoff victory for the first time since 1994. This young man continues to mature as both a passer and a leader.
And right away, they're going to stack him up right at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the game's first play, and it's 2nd down now. Mayfield hands it off to Chubb. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down. Working out of the gun, Mayfield. Flushed out right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And this is caught right along the sideline. What a job of keeping the toes in bounds there. A big connection on that one. 38 yards.
There's no doubt in my mind that not many guys in this league have had the impact that he's had here in the first half of the season. Big play guy from the word go, and continues to be one with another one right there.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. A give. This is Chubb. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
To the right side, and he's got Landry complete. And they move this all the way down to the 9.
Boy, how about the speed with which this offense can get down the field? It's taken them no time at all to get down here, and now they're set up with a 1st and goal.
They'll run with Chubb. The numbers for him from a week ago, a boatload of carries, 93 yards and a score.
And when he went over 1,000 yards last week, you know what it did for their offense? It gave them a true identity because everyone's going to talk about this offense.
And he's got his tight end. It's Hooper for the Browns touchdown. Austin Hooper, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Browns take it right down the field and score on the opening drive.
You get down near the goal line, this is where having a sure-handed tight end becomes a luxury, and it pays off big time, especially when the defense sells out against the run. He finds himself open for an easy touchdown.
Extra point by McLaughlin is up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. So the drive winds up going 75 yards in 7 plays. And it ends with a touchdown for Cleveland. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Phillips, he's not going to bring this one out, so they will begin the drive at the 25. Time to see the Bengals offense go to work, and leading them out, the #1 overall pick in the 2020 draft, Joe Burrow, now his second season out of LSU.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
1 touchdown, 1 pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe leans on a few other parts of the offense, and hopefully springs a receiver or 2 free.
A throw left side to start out. That's complete. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35.
Here we go.
These are his numbers from last week's contest. 5 catches, 51 yards.
And I get the feeling that he loves this matchup. I mean, the unit he's going against is in the bottom half of the league against the pass. He had to have circled this one on the schedule and said to himself, this should be a big game.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. So this rivalry, Charles, here in the Buckeyes dip as these two franchises struggled, but now I think this rivalry is budding again as one of the best under-the-radar rivalries in the NFL.
I agree with you absolutely, because both of these teams have the arrow pointing up. They've kind of solved their quarterback issues. They're building up their rosters. But one of the most defining moments of this rivalry to me wasn't even in a Browns-Bengals game. It was a Seahawks-Bengals game when head coach Sam White addressed the crowd and emphasized that Cincinnati was the place to be.
But, Charles, I think his exact words were, you don't live in Cleveland, you live in Cincinnati. And Burrow going to slide to the ground as he does pick up the first down. Couple of first downs to kick off the drive. Here's 1st and 10 up at the 46. The former second-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. And no room to maneuver there. Give him a yard up to the 47. He'll let one go deep for Higgins. And the defense has it over here at their own 14-yard line. So now it appears they're going to accept the penalty, which means take away the interception. Also means keep your defense on the field. Don't understand this one bit. And he'll go down at the 28. Well, this defense for the Browns, they were excellent a week ago in the win over Pittsburgh.
Anytime you can hold a team to less than 10 points, your expectation winning that game has to be sky high. In fact, you'd be absolutely stunned to come away with a loss in that one. Could you imagine going to the press conference and trying to explain that?
And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Burrow going to give this to Mixon. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down. Now it's Burrow. To Mixon on the check down. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. So the completion gets him just a yard. And they're going to face a third down. Now Burrow. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free. And it brings up 4th down. McPherson's kick is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So the turnover leads to points as they add 3 there.
Yeah, what a sequence there, and a nice one for them. They forced the interception, put together a little drive, and then come away with 3 points. Nothing to it, partner. Just do it.
The Browns drive about to get started. 4-4, their record through 8 games on the season. Would you say that this team has overperformed, underperformed, or are they kind of right where you thought that they would be?
Do you mind if I say yes, yes, and yes? Because ultimately to me, 4-4 is about where they should be, because we've seen weeks where they've been really, really good. They've looked terrific. Other weeks where we wondered just how good is this team. They want to be consistent in their play, not consistently inconsistent, which is what they've been thus far.
On third down, Mayfield. And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
And this is what you want to see from a defense. Give up an opening drive touchdown, that's fine. But how about them going back out there, recommitting themselves to the task at hand, and forcing a 3-and-out and giving the ball back to their offense?
It's just a 30-yard punt that time, no return. And the Bengals will take over here, 1st and 10. The Bengals drive about to get going. And they come in losers of 2 straight. And remember, they've got the open date on their calendar next weekend. But you think it's vitally important, Charles, that they focus on the task at hand here?
Absolutely, because these players, they know what's coming up. And
he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. The CD, I mean, there are touchdown runs, and then there are touchdown runs, and that one certainly fell into the latter category. Now, that deserves a couple exclamation points.
I think defensively, when you look at a play like that, that's when everyone looks at their teammates and starts shaking their heads a little bit, because now you're wondering, what are we in for? Worked all week to try and limit the big play ability that he possesses, and he winds up taking one to the house in the very first quarter. That was a tremendous run.
And he covered a lot of ground on that one, as evidenced by the final total there on Next Gen Stats. Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. He'll start things off with a handoff to Chubb. Not much room here as he only gets it to about the 30. Patrick Onwuasor up to make the tackle. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Mayfield to throw it. And he's got his man on the crossing route. That's Landry. And he will finally be taken out of bounds. A big play that time for Cleveland. I don't think there's anyone who could possibly doubt how fast he could run on the open field. But if there were, he silenced those thoughts there.
And normally when you see guys move it this fast, it might be a fly pattern from a receiver or a toss sweep from a tailback or something like that. This was designed as a passing play. And then he got out of the pocket, and he just took off. And he just kept gaining momentum with every step.
On 1st down, they'll run with Chubb. And he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11.
Vision is so important for the man in the middle, because his ability to look through all the clutter that's happening in front of him, diagnose a play, and then go make it.
And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. Odell Beckham with touchdown number 8 on the year. And once again, the Browns are back in front.
If you didn't know it, it won't surprise you to find out that this team leads the league in scoring. They've been a quick strike team all season long. There's another example. They did it again. This offensive coordinator, right now you can write his ticket towards being a head coach. He's advanced in the ways of offense.
Extra point by McLaughlin is up and good. And the lead is now 14-10. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it's capped off by the Browns touchdown. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Phillips, he's not going to bring this one out, so they will begin the drive at the 25. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And they hit the home run last drive. 1 play on the ground all the way to the house. Now the defense, maybe they're expecting a run here.
Partner, I love your description, because when we talk about hitting the home run, we're usually thinking about a passing play, aren't we? Something in the air, deep ball. But how about them just taking it big time, John? Now if you're coming back out, now they've established this run game, the play-action pass could very well be open.
Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. And bulldozing his way through. Breaks the tackle. He's got room to run. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across across midfield. 111 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here. First down. Here's Burrow. Open man is Uzama. And he's got this down to the 35. Joe Burrow in year number 2, moving around pretty good considering the seriousness of his injury last year. If you're a defensive coordinator here, what do you try to do to slow Joe Burrow down?
I think you want him to be in rhythm. I think you want him to be on time. And normally you want to take that away from a quarterback, make him hold it a little bit longer. But when he has a chance to maneuver around the pocket, sometimes get out of it, big plays result. I want him throwing the ball on time and then tackling the receivers so there's no extra yardage.
And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. We are in for a good one as we're through one on EA Sports. Now Burrow on first down. Over the middle, he finds Higgins. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
And he takes it into the end zone. Touchdown, Bengals. Joe Mixon, his second touchdown of the game and his 9th on the year. And the Bengals are once again going to retake the lead. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And it's now 17-14. So after the made field goal, here's McPherson to send this one away. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started. And they are right at the 500 mark on the year and got there with a victory a week ago.
And
a big loss here as he's taken down. Trey Hendrickson make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. Now this one from about 2 counties over after the sack. They come up on a second and very long. And some room for him there as he'll take this up to about the 15. Give him 4 yards there, but still in a big hole. 3rd and long.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Airing this one out for Fitzgerald. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. Here's Jamie Gillen now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And a fair catch is taken here, a step or 2 inside the 45-yard line. 36 yards on the punt with no return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
And he's got this down to the 35.
I know I spent a lot of time talking about how tight ends in a lot of cases now are pumped up wide receivers, but they're still big people. He used that frame right there to absorb a really big hit on him and held on to the ball.
And he'll be taken down at the 34. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
On 2nd and 9, Burrow. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front. The Bengals on 3rd down. 9. Now it's Burrow. It's out of bounds inside the 30. 5 yards, not enough, and it'll be 4th down. And this one is going to just tuck into the bottom left corner, as he gets it to go. And they stretch the lead to 6. It's 20-14 now. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky.
Where he stands right now, as you see, already over 1,000. You have to think 2,000 is a real possibility. Long way to go in the season, but what he's done so far is spectacular.
It is, and you know what he's also hoping for? He's going to play a lot of man coverage from here on out, because one of the best ways to slow down production is to go to zone and double, triple team, put a number of people in the area that you expect him to run into. But man-to-man, every receiver believes he's going to win that battle. And you know what they all do? They all keep kind of a book, you know, on what the defenders do, what their moves are, their best things. And he wants to be able to refer to that book and beat one guy at a time.
A first down throw from Mayfield. It's complete to Fitzgerald. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 36.
Well, into a sea of defenders and intercepted.
Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. And the Bengals force the turnover. They'll take over at their own 27.
Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here, 1st and 10
at their own 27. He'll hand it off here. This is Mixon. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Coming up on 2nd and 7.
A handoff running left, Mixon. And they can't bring him down. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds.
165 yards rushing for him, as he has been tough to stop here this first half.
Mixon with a first down carry. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front, because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole. When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line.
So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10.
Here's a give to Mixon. And the tough run gets him just inside the 10 to the 9, but no further. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. They're passing here. Joe Burrow. And he's going to be taken down, sacked back around the 18-yard line. Myles Garrett in there to get him. Sack number 14 for him on the year. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete.
They really had a good drive going there, but a nice recovery by the defense these past few downs, able to knock that one away on 3rd down and bring up what I think for the offense, an unexpected 4th down here.
So he's been a busy man here in this first half. That's 3 field goals for him now.
And not just 3 field goals, but 3 for 3. So even though the offense has struggled a bit putting it in the end zone, they've still been able to come away with points due to his leg.
And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Heading back out, Baker Mayfield as we call up our player spotlight. And I don't know what more they need to see of him than what we're going to see. The Browns drive about to get started. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. Of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Play action now. Here's Mayfield rolling to his right.
Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted.
Picked off.
sends it into pocket, trying to improvise. That was a tough throw, and unfortunately, it wound up in the wrong pair of hands.
And Brandon, when you're on the run, sometimes your downfield vision could get skewed just a bit. Now, the beauty of extending a play is sometimes your receivers find their way open, but oftentimes you end up closing down part of the field and bringing those defenders to the ball. And that one was picked off.
Yeah, this incomplete. He tried to check it down to his running back and nearly had the ball picked.
Now the Bengals on third down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 8. From the shotgun, it's Burrow. Airing one out for Boyd. And he's got it. What a catch on the sideline. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score.
And boy, CD, it's one thing to watch a great run, but when it's a great run with broken contact, it's like a cherry on top. That was a nice play.
Yeah, this is a guy who runs with such balance and control. I mean, he went to that early contact just like he was driving over a speed bump. And he's able to continue his way downfield and wind up in the end zone.
From his end zone, it's Demetric Felton. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Cost him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20.
The Browns drive about to get started. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. The first thrown out for the backup, Keenum. Trying to get it to Beckham, and it's intercepted. Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. And he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line.
Boy, Charles, that is now 3 interceptions in 3 consecutive drives, and you can see he's just got a look of disgust and bad body language, understandably.
And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. Malik McDowell, the defensive tackle, getting in there for a loss of 5.
Well, last game he had 2 sacks. Got another one here, picked up right where he left off.
Brandon, he spent the entire offseason working on new moves, new techniques, trying to add to his arsenal of pass rush moves. Certainly paying dividends in what we've seen so far.
And they were looking to set up the screen, but that's going to be incomplete. Almost wound up going the other way. Well covered defensively, and it'll bring up 3rd down. And Burrow going to be hit and taken down. They got him. Jadeveon Clowney has now recorded 10 sacks on the season. On 4th down on is Dustin Colquitt to kick this away. Back deep, Jarvis Landry. And last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. It'll be a 44-yard punt. The return goes for 8. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. Just over 30 seconds to go in the half. They've got it 1st and 10. Now Case Keenum and the offense heading back onto the field. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown 1 interception. He wants to balance that off with at least 1 touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
And some room to maneuver. And all the way down to the 36-yard line. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as it comes with 22 seconds to go here in half number 1. On 1st and 10, Keenum. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now Keenum again. Eluding the pressure right.
And that one almost intercepted. Could have been his 3rd pick of the game. Instead, it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Throwing on 3rd down, Keenum.
Looking for Higgins, but it is intercepted. Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. And he will be brought down on what will be the final play of this 1st half.